Sure. Howdy, guys. Word to your mother. Yeah, I'm not sure how well that works. I think we're going to go back to we'll go back to that. Right. I did have my period of time where I was heck, that was back when MTV played regular music. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about what I did this weekend. Had a lot of fun, as you can maybe see by the photos and things like that. There you go. See me back there? Yeah, had a lot of fun. But first of all, welcome to all of y'all. A big old SKD 143, another fantastic Monday evening to all of y'all. Hope y'all are doing fantastic out there, staying cool. It's still hot down. I'm gonna say that every week for the next 3 months. It's still hot down here in Texas. That isn't gonna change, but no, I had fun this weekend, so we're gonna talk about that. But before I do, first of all, as I always tend to do, welcome to all of y'all who are watching live. Welcome to those of you who are watching on replay as well. I appreciate all of y'all out there. I did notice, I don't think Keith Franken is out here tonight. It may be because he's working. I just wanted to send a special congrats to Keith. He sent me a message a little bit earlier or the end of last week saying he got the job that he had talked about last week. Props to you, Keith. So again, he may be working this evening. If that's the case, Keith, work away. That's why we got this show on replay. Welcome to y'all watching live. Welcome to y'all watching on replay. For those of you who have not subscribed to my channel yet, please consider doing so. You can subscribe. You can turn on notifications. You could even give a thumbs up while you're out there. That's always appreciated. We're getting closer to the Big Brother season. And yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit this evening. But we are getting closer. And as we get closer, there may be some extra episodes that I drop here and there. So if you turn on notifications, you aren't going to miss any of them. And no one wants to miss hanging with our crew this evening. All right. So yeah, before we talk about this weekend, let me go out here and just see who all I've got this evening. Michelle Moore. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? First one out here. Ma is angry as well. Ma, how are you doing? Amanda Lowe saying, Ice Ice Baby is my current ringtone. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. And Jake the Horror Movie Geek. Hi, Cliff. Hi, everyone. Hey, Jake, how are you doing? Brian Hostetler. Brian, how are you? Let's see who else. Mark Taylor. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. And I think that's who we've got right now. Oh, welcome, y'all. All right. First thing. I thought I saw. I'm missing some. Maybe not. Let's see. Now, if I missed you, sorry about that. My thing's jumping around a little bit this evening. Terry Thomas. I missed you. Andy. Oh, yeah. I missed a whole section of y'all guys. Marilyn Sutherland saying I got my popcorn and took the dogs out. All good. Well, you're set and ready, and dogs are happy. Maybe share the popcorn with the dogs a little bit as well. So howdy to you. Terry Thomas, Andy W., Angie Hung as well. Hey, Angie, how are you doing? And Wyatt Garrett. Gosh, I missed a whole section. It's Tammy Flanagan. Mark, I think I mentioned you, but howdy again. Dart as well. Dudley Lucky. And I think that's about what we've got. Hey, for those of you who are out there, it's kind of an open evening. I got a few things I'm going to talk about, but yeah, feel free to ask any questions you want about my past experiences, Big Brother coming up, or whatever else we've got going on. All right, couple of things real quick. All right, Mark Taylor, what's with your background? Yeah, let's get into that before we even talk about Big Brother. We'll get into that. Had a little special activity, a little special event this weekend. Sharon and I took off, went to Marksville, Louisiana, which is about 4 hours from Houston. It's kind of western part of central Louisiana, just north of Lafayette, for those of you who know the area. But went to Marksville, Louisiana, Paragon Casino and Resort. They reached out to me and said, hey, Cliff, we got a little concert going on this weekend. I Love the 90s concert. We'd love to have you come by. We'll feed you. We'll get you tickets for the show. We'll put you up for the evening and just come check it out. So Sharon and I headed up there first thing Saturday morning. Had so much fun. We ate very well. I may talk about that a little bit more in a second. Had some fantastic meals while we were there. Picked up a little packet that had some tickets for the I Love the 90s concert. And not only was it tickets for the concert, but also it was backstage passes to do some meet and greets before the show and after the show. Oh, it was so fun. So here's who was showing up at the concert, who performed at the concert. We had All for One, who sings "I Swear." Y'all would know the song if you heard it. Not most of you would. Some of you weren't even walking the earth when these songs came out. But All for One did "I Swear." Rob Bass was there, who does "It Takes Two to Make the World Go Right." It takes two to make the world go right. Who else? Young MC was there, who does "Bust a Move." Tone Loc was there, who does "Wild Thing," "Funky Cold Medina," and kind of the headliner, the finish wrapping up the act, the show, Vanilla Ice. Yeah, Vanilla Ice was there. Okay, stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Yeah, Vanilla Ice was there as well. So much fun. Just everyone in the audience having a blast. Watching the show, lights. They're singing their old hits, but they're also doing covers of other songs and everything else. And yeah, we had a blast. So some of my background that you're seeing right here, this is before the show. You can see All for One is over here. The boy band, not so much a boy band anymore, a guy band, we'll call it. They were there. We had a Young MC right there, and then Tone Loc. Tone Loc was pretty funny. He was having fun. I gave him a hard time, or they gave me a hard time for being the only guy in the picture with the cowboy hat. But I had to maintain my image just like they did. But yeah, I may have been the only person in the entire arena that had a cowboy hat on at this particular show. But yeah, we had a blast doing it. It's not on here. I'm gonna do a full wrap up of my whole experience, on Instagram and Twitter stories. So I'll be doing that a little bit later. But after the show was over, we got to go backstage and talk to Vanilla Ice for a while. And I don't know, what was it, a dozen of us or so that got to go back there. And he was such an incredibly nice guy. You never know when you meet people that you've watched over the years, if they're going to be nice or they're going to be kind of stuck up or whatever. Vanilla Ice, all of these guys, all of them were so cool, so nice. But Vanilla Ice in particular, I got to spend a little bit more time with him because it was after the show. I told him, Sharon and I watch, not only did we listen to all his music when he first hit 94 so, when he first made it on TV, and man, every other song on MTV was Ice Ice Baby, it seems like. There's a lot of good music they played back then. But I told him, I said, man, we love your music, but we also love the Vanilla Ice Project. He does a home renovation show. And he had announced that they just renewed another season of that. I said, we love that. I said, but here's the thing. You need to go on Celebrity Big Brother. That's what I want you to be doing. Ice, as they're close to him. We don't call him Vanilla. We just say Ice. Now, I said, you need to go on Celebrity Big Brother. I would love to see you on that show. And he started laughing. He said, man, they've been trying to get me on that show forever. I can't do it. There's no way I would. I don't think I'd do that show. And it turns out he mentioned that he had done a show called Surreal Life, which was on MTV. It's kind of like The Real World, except with celebrities, where a bunch of celebrities just hang together. It's different from Big Brother in that they don't vote each other out, but they just hang out with each other. In his season, he had Tammy Faye Baker and Ron Jeremy and Eric Estrada from Chips, and I can't remember who else, but he said, yeah, I did that. That was enough. I don't think I could do Big Brother. And as we talked some more, it kind of revolved or turned around to me having been on the show. And he thought that was cool and asked me, what it was like having the cameras on you and run around. He said, you run around your underwear with a cowboy hat. I said, well, they got shots of both while I was in there. So yeah, we had a lot. He was a great guy. I had a lot of fun at the show, at the resort, the whole weekend. It was cool. I did a lot more singing than Sharon probably appreciated. Fortunately, there were thousands and thousands of other people that were singing even louder than I was. If you can imagine, anyone could sing louder than me. But yeah, I drove her crazy for the last week, just walking around the house all week long, singing some of these old hits and doing bad dancing. She can handle the bad singing. The bad dancing, yeah, that's probably a good thing my kids weren't around the house this week, because I was doing that as well. But no, I had a blast. So it was fantastic. I think they're going to do some more of the tours around the United States. It's been going on for 4 or 5 years. And if it's in y'all's neck of the woods, check it out. It was just a lot of fun, just going back to old times and all that. So yeah, had a blast this weekend singing, remembering when MTV actually did play the videos and all that. Man, I used to love that stuff. I was big into rock when I was a kid, or teenager, and all Van Halen and things like that. Aerosmith, some of those. But then suddenly you had Run DMC showing up doing an old Aerosmith song, and that kind of crossed that hip hop in with or the rap in with the rock music, and then suddenly you had some of the old school people, Beastie Boys and some of those. So, yeah, a whole different time. It's funny. I was at that Big Brother house. If they played a lot of this music, now Ice Ice Baby maybe, but a lot of that music from back in the 90s, a lot of those guys wouldn't even have known what the music was. I'm pretty certain of that. But yeah, we had a blast this weekend. All right, a few more comments, and we can talk about this more if you want later. Brian Hustadler, sorry, let's talk Big Brother. Brian's saying Big Brother is going to be 99 days with a special episode before the season starts. Thank you, Brian. I had not seen the 99 days. That's how long our season was. The last few seasons have been shortened a little bit. I'm a little surprised considering how late it starts. It's not starting until August 2nd. I really thought maybe they would shorten the season up just a little bit because of that, but it's going to be 99 days. I was in that house 93 days. That's a long, long time to be in a house, because remember this, I was in the house for 93 days, but there was a week or two ahead of time when you're in sequester. I had a week after I was booted out before we actually had the finale. So that 99 days quickly turns into 100 plus days for everyone who makes a jury. So long time. So yeah, so that's cool. I like it because you know what that means. If it's 99 days, it means we may have another battle back. I like the battle backs, right? We may have the battle backs. They may have opportunities to do some more twists, things like that. It's less likely that we're going to have a day one, night one eviction, which I can't stand. I don't ever want to see someone booted on night number one. I don't think it's fair to anyone playing the game for that to happen. So longer season means they hold people a little bit longer, hopefully. Keeping the fingers crossed. So that's cool. As far as the special, yeah, I did see that. I think it's going to be July 26th, if I recall. It's going to be a Wednesday night before the season premieres. It's like an hour and a half long, and it's just I guess it's a retrospective of the past 25 seasons. And I'd seen some little blurbs. I knew Janelle and Taylor and a few other people were together, and it looked like maybe something was being filmed. So they may have a few folks filming some introductions or doing something associated with it. But yeah, they're going to show, I guess, highlights, lowlights. I don't know. Maybe they'll show me winning battle back at HOH in the same night, because that was definitely a highlight for me. Maybe not a highlight for a few of the people in the house who had thought they had it figured out. Maybe we're going to get me out the door, but I didn't care about them. I was just happy to stay in the house. So yeah, we do have a special episode to kind of whet our appetite for that one more week. And somewhere in between that special episode and the actual night one episode, I expect we're going to see the cast introduction. Maybe we'll get some diary room interviews. I don't know who will be doing it this year, if it's Jeff Schroeder or someone else, probably someone else. He hadn't done it for a couple of years, but yeah. And then it's going to feel like Big Brother season. I was thinking about it. I'm going to do my overnight recaps like I've always done. And we'll talk a lot of Big Brother on my Cliff Notes lives. Depending on how things are working all out, I may see if I can get some folks from last season or last couple of seasons. Maybe get some people on here talk a little bit as well about what they think about the show and bring on some guests. I think technology-wise, I've done guests a few times. It always seems to work out. So stay tuned. We're gonna figure it out as we go, but we just have to get there. We've got one more month and a week, 5 more weeks to go, and then it's time for Big Brother. I'm so ready. It's hot outside. That tells my body it's time for Big Brother. But yeah, I'm ready to go. All right, Michelle Moore. Anyone watch Naked and Afraid last night? Michelle, you're talking my language. I love Naked and Afraid. Sharon's scared to death. I'm going to go on that show one of these days. I can't stand the cold. If they put me in some cold environment where it's pouring down rain, it's 40 degrees, you would see the most miserable person ever. The sun I can handle, I think. The bugs biting where they shouldn't be biting, I can handle, I think, although it wouldn't be great. Hunger, I'm like a polar bear. I think I could go a couple of months and not suffer from hunger as bad as other people. I got a little reserve built up. That'd be all right. But the cold would be miserable. But yeah, this Naked and Afraid, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you go out naked out into the wild jungles, forests, deserts, wherever, and you go out naked. You got a couple of tools with you, and you got to survive for anywhere from 21 days to 40 days, whatever. But this season's a little bit different because it's, I think, called Last Man Standing. And they started off with 16 people or so, people who've done the show before. They've put them all together, and now they're competing against each other until there's only one person left who wins, I think, $100,000. And so there's a little more competition going on than we normally see. Normally it's two people, so they're working together. You know, I'll take care of you. I'll look for the food if you look for the firewood. Sometimes they work together. Sometimes they get on each other's nerves, and it's horrible or entertaining, depending on where you're looking at it from. But in this case, because there's only one person left, some people on this show are working together. Others, one or two people, are just saying, yeah, no, this is a competition. I'm not feeding you. I'm not sharing my deer skins with you, nothing. So yeah, it's been a fun season. I don't want to spoil for anyone who hadn't seen it, because you can go out there. I think it's on the National Geographic channel. I think you can go out there and find it. So, but there's one person that's kind of been made the villain. I'm kind of starting to cheer for him a little bit, because everyone else is just kind of mean to him. But he's playing it very cutthroat. He's very competitive. He's not going out of his way to share stuff with other people. And now the other people are kind of mad, and they're taking it out on him. And now it's a great scene. I've enjoyed it so far. It's been fun. It is amazing what people will do when they have to, when they're hungry, when they're tired, when they're cold, they're wet. Some people just put it in overdrive, build these fancy shelters, go out and find foods, eat grubs, just do horrible things to stay alive. Others just crawl under their shelter and say, you know what, I'm just going to chill for 21 days. And I'm going to hobble out of here, you know, barely alive, but I think I can survive for 21 days just laying here. And yeah, I don't know which strategy is better or worse. It depends on what you think you need to do to survive. But I love watching how people deal with these environments when they do it show. So yeah, I love Naked and Afraid. And one of these days, maybe they'll put me out there as well. And I may prove some people wrong. I think I'd do okay surviving out there. I could set snares, catch animals. I know I could do some fishing. I think I could probably start a fire here or there. I'd take those glasses off and magnifying glass. I'd make something happen. It'd work out all right. Yeah, I love that show. Absolutely love it. All right, Andy W. saying, wow, been having earthquakes yesterday and today in Nevada, getting on my nerves. Well, Andy, I don't blame you. Those earthquakes, old Texas boy, I've been through a few of them, but they're kind of scary. And the difference is here we worry about hurricanes and tornadoes a little bit, but that's a little bit more north, Dallas-Fort Worth area and everything. Down here in Houston, it's all about the hurricanes. But at least a hurricane, you see it coming, right? You have a chance to make sure that you're taken care of, to pick up the yard or secure windows and do whatever you need to do, evacuate if it's really bad. We've evacuated one or two hurricanes over the years. Our house has never had serious damage. We've had some fences down and some trees down, things like that. House has always been, for the most part, okay. But yeah, it's kind of scary. But an earthquake, you don't see it coming. I mean, it's just there, right? That's really scary. I've told y'all before, while we were at the Big Brother house, we actually had two earthquakes. The first one, I was indoors, I think, talking to Kat. I didn't even notice it. It's just Cat keeps you engaged, right? I was so busy playing strategy and all that. I didn't even really notice the ground shaking. But everyone said, yeah, there's an earthquake. The next day we had another one while we were all in the kitchen, and that was a severe one. It was the lamps were swinging and everything was cracking. Because remember, we're not in a real house. We're just in a sound stage. It looks like a real house, but it's still just a sound stage. And all I could picture is, man, there sure are a lot of heavy lights up here, and there sure are a lot of fake logs and beams. Did they put them up properly or not? So we got under some steel girders, the exit into the backyard. A lot of us got under, others got under the tables. Turns out everything was okay. They wouldn't give us any information. I went to the diary room so many times saying, just tell me, is there a city that's in trouble? Well, we can't tell you, Cliff. Wouldn't tell me squat. But as it turns out, it was a big earthquake, but out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, they're hitting in Vegas. Be careful. Make sure you know where you're going to dive under the desk, the table, the door frame, whatever, because it's just a weird feeling when the ground's going off underneath your feet. Very strange, very strange. Where else? I was in Mexico City once when they had a little earthquake, which serious business down there as well. And so, yeah, I like knowing what's coming towards me, and you don't get that with earthquakes. All right, Darts, welcome aboard. First time viewing. Well, welcome, Darts. Glad you joined us. Watched your season, thank you, and you were my favorite because it got me into Big Brother. That's what I like hearing. I am here to champion the Big Brother cause. So, thank you for that, Darts. Did you watch the most recent season of Canada Big Brother? Yeah, I did, and would love to know your thoughts. Winter's getting a lot of hate, but thought he played a great game strategically. Yeah, I know he got hate at the end, and was it I can't even remember the player's name, but he had a little bit of a showman, so it was kind of not always very friendly with that, and he played the game very hardcore. He almost walked out at one point, but yeah, I did watch a season. No, I've told everyone else on here, Darts, I don't really ever hold anything that anyone does while they're on the game of Big Brother. I don't judge their character based on what they do while playing a game that is designed to bring out sometimes the worst and the most cutthroat characteristics and mentality in each and every one of us, right? You watch a show, and especially this season of Big Brother Canada without the live feeds, you don't see the day-to-day, the hour-to-hour happenings that are going on. You only see, what the producers choose, those little 1 hour episodes and a little extra with some of the recap stuff they showed online. But, you're seeing certain parts that may or may not represent the entire person. So I have always said that I am going to always be optimistic. I'm always going to be positive with everyone. I did it last season on Big Brother USA, where there certainly were some people that received a lot of hate as well, right? I mean, we had our stuff down here also, but I thought he played a great game. He had to win a lot of comps at the end. If it wasn't, and I always hesitate because I know not everyone has watched all the seasons, so I'm not going to throw out a lot of names or details or anything else, but he had to win a lot of comps, right? There were a lot of episodes where if he hadn't won, he was out the door. So he did remind me in a lot of ways, Jackson Mickey from my season, who also got a lot of hate after the show was over. But you know what? I personally haven't seen anything from him after the show that would suggest that he's just an all-around rotten guy or anything. So I'm going to assume it's just playing the game. And I look forward to meeting him and a lot of the other players from this season as well. So yeah, that's the long answer. The short answer, I did watch it. I was a little perturbed that we didn't get the live feeds because I just think you understand everything so much better. Even if you aren't watching all the live feeds, someone is. And someone will say if something happened or didn't happen, or they'll clarify and explain what's really happening in the house. When you don't have the live feeds at all, you can't do that. So that was tough. I am glad that CBS and Our House Productions, the Big Brother USA, is going to keep the live feeds because you just understand the game, the people, everything that much more about it. So yeah, I did see, I think it's Ika Wong's the one who announced that they have renewed Big Brother Canada for season 12, because I know there were some people that were a little upset with not only the outcome of the game, but also the lack of live feed. So I did notice they were very quick to point out that, yeah, it's going to be back next year, to cut out all that talk from people saying, oh, it's going to get canceled or whatever. I don't think they're going to bring back live feeds. I wish they would, but I don't know if they'll bring back live feeds, but I would hope so. But I'm glad we got them down here. But Darts, thank you for joining. Always appreciate the questions. Keep them coming. This is what these Monday nights are all about, is just interacting as much as possible. So thank you and welcome. All right, Mark's saying, Cody said he thought he thinks that there will be vets on the show. What do you think? I don't think so. I have seen comments from, and I don't know how official they are, but it seems like CBS and some other folks have put out things, Julie Chen maybe, saying that an all new cast or something. I just think it's too recent from season 22, which was an all-star season. Yeah, it's only 3 years later. Who would you get? So I don't think it's all-stars in any form or manner. Could you bring back one or two people from past seasons? Yeah, maybe. And I hope they don't, because that's tough. Unless it's me, and then we can talk. But yeah, I hope it's all new cast, and I think it's going to be all new cast. I just don't think they're ready for that hybrid version where you have a few returning players and a whole lot of new players. I'm excited to see it. I mean, the last couple of seasons, you had my season, and there were some people that complained about ours a little bit. So then uh, you had the diversity campaign, the pledge from CBS to have a more diverse cast. Then you had All Stars. Then these last couple of seasons, you had some conflicts and everything that took place. Yeah, unfortunately, the outside world intrudes inside that house, which, as it should, it's supposed to be a snippet of what the real world's like. Thank God that isn't the case. Can you imagine if the real world was as ruthless as inside? But yeah, you still had some people kind of, some conflicts and some, bullying, things like that people talk about. Every season we come in thinking, is this going to be a problematic season, or is this going to be an amazing season? And, there's a part of me, you don't want 16 people who are all super friendly and nice and never have any issues, right? You got to have a villain. As much as we like to hate some of these people, you've got to have a villain. The producers realize that. Some of the people in that house realize it. And there are certainly people who are willing to embrace that role. Sometimes they don't do it voluntarily. Sometimes it gets assigned to them. They don't even know until they get out. But yeah, as a viewer, we like the drama, the conflict, and of course, I also empathize when I see people feeling very alone, very lost, very stressed out. It kills me. I empathize with that as well. But we like to see a little bit of the drama as well, right? So that's what I love about Big Brother is you can relate to the people, you can feel sorry for them, you can be cheering them on, and yet you also just want to see exciting stuff happening and everyone on their heels a little bit and having to fight every day they're in there. I don't like the seasons where someone feels secure from the start up until the very end and never really feels like their game's threatened. I want people fighting every second they're in their house. That's what makes a good season for me. And that's what we're going to get on 25. Trust me. Old Boss Hog's telling you right now, it's going to be the best season. Well, best season since season 21. And how could you beat that season, right? Yeah, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. All right. Keith Franken just joining. All right. Well, Keith, then you missed it. I actually started off the show telling everyone that you got your job. Props to you again, my man, that you sent me a notification. I told him, said, hey, probably out working this evening. Yeah, working man blues, right? But now, congratulations to you. And if you were working, I'm perfectly happy knowing that you just watch it on replay as well. I know not all of y'all are of age to be working and everything just yet, but there's something very satisfactory about working and knowing that you're taking care of yourself and friends and loved ones, and that you're doing what you need to do to survive in this world. It's a great feeling. So congratulations again, Keith. I'm very proud of you. Very happy for you. All right. FL Black Butterfly 1. Is that Florida or just FL? FL Black Butterfly 1. Heard Big Brother starting August 2nd. Yeah, I heard the same thing. I think it's pretty much confirmed at this point in time. I think that's a Wednesday. Almost positive that's a Wednesday. If not, someone correct me. But yeah, it's here's what I'm a little curious about. You've got Survivor and Amazing Race, maybe, and Tough as Nails. You got some other CBS reality shows, and at least Survivor, they're going to an hour and a half long episode, I think. I mean, as they're dealing with the writer strikes and all of that, they're trying to take up more space with reality shows. I think we're going to have the same time periods, or at least the same days of the episodes for this season of Big Brother that we've had in the past, which is typically a Wednesday, a Thursday, and a Sunday. I assume we're going to do that, but you start having some of these other shows like Survivor that are an hour and a half long. I'm not real sure how that works. How cool would it be if Big Brother was an hour and a half long too? I don't think that's the case. I pretty much guarantee it's not the case. You figure Survivor. Those editors have filmed the entire season. Then they come back to LA or wherever they do their work, and they edit into whatever the episode is. And I'm sure they're said, okay, or told, all right, it's going to be an hour and a half. So they have a chance to pull an hour and a half worth of footage and all that. Big Brother, they're showing stuff that just happened a day or two ago, and they're trying to recap it as quickly as possible. For them to go from an hour to an hour and a half is a 50% more workload of those editors and producers and everything else. I can't ever see them doing that. Y'all don't understand how many times we had in the diary room. Sometimes you get brought into the diary room and you would talk for 45 minutes or so, and I'd say, oh, Cliff, what do you think about the people who are on the block? Or, What about are you worried about your position? Yeah, the stories and the conversations that you see on the show. That's a typical diary room session. But every once in a while, you would get called in and they'd say, all right, Cliff, I know you talked yesterday about your opinions of the block and the veto being used, but we need to get one more little thing. Can you just tell us, you said yesterday that you were really happy that so-and-so was off the block, but can you tell us that again? But instead of saying it in 30 seconds, can you say it in 10 seconds? Because we're trying to squeeze a lot into the show. So there was a lot of stuff where you were asked to kind of rephrase things that you'd already said. They never told us what to say, but sometimes they'd say, can you say it a little bit faster, or can you go in a little bit more detail about that little comment that you made? And sometimes you would do that on a Wednesday morning. Sometimes they'd call you in like Thursday morning at 2:00 in the morning, knowing the live episode was later in the evening that same day. And I could just picture them saying, oh, we got to get this, this, and this, and them trying to work up until the very last minute to get those episodes put together. So I don't think Big Brother can easily go from an hour to an hour and a half. And that's fine, as long as we got the live feeds. But yeah, August 2nd is the starting date, unless something weird happens. But I think that's going to be the case, which means at 99 days, well, Merry Christmas to you. It'll almost be Christmas by the time they wrap this up. Right around Thanksgiving, I think, is what I counted up. So that'd be cool. All right. Angie Hung saying, hey, I'm so glad to see you out here, Angie. Saying, one of my friends from Calgary is a social media influencer, is being paid to report about Houston Pride. Everything paid for. He's there now. That's cool. That's fantastic. Props to your friend for getting to do that kind of work. I know they had a big Pride parade over the weekend. Our mayor, Sylvester Turner, was in it. And so, yeah, I mean, we're a big city, a very diverse city. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot for your friend to report on. It's going to be a little hot. I hope your friend brought a bunch of sunscreen and a few water bottles to hydrate with. But yeah, it's a big deal here in Houston. We've got we've got certain parts of the city that are really into it, and the buildings are all lit up, colorful. We've got crosswalks that have been rainbow painted forever and everything. So yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, what else do we have on here? That's cool. That's what I need to be doing. Some more of those travel influencers. That'd be pretty great. If there's anyone out there who wants me to advertise Bali or Tahiti or somewhere like that, give me a call. I work cheap. All right, Lawrence Santiago saying, who are the guys in the background and when will the cast be put in sequester? All right, we'll talk about the second question first. When will they be put in sequester? It's a little difficult for me to say for certain, Lawrence, because nowadays, I don't know if they still have the COVID extra protocols and everything or not. When we went in, we were anywhere. Here's what you got to understand. Not everyone goes into the house on the same day. When you've got 16 people coming in, they kind of spread us out over a week or so. I think for us, we were in sequester anywhere from 5 or 6 days out to 9 or 10 days, depending on who the person was. So a little under a week to a week and a half before the season started, we started having people go into sequester. So I expected it to be about the same thing now. Now, once COVID hit, they had to add an extra week or so in there just to make sure that they were free and clear before they went into the house. Texas, it wouldn't be an issue. I'm not sure exactly what the protocol is over in Burbank and LA and everything, but I'm guessing if the season starts August 2nd, then middle of July, maybe going into sequester. I'm not sure. Now, here's the other difference between my season and some of the recent seasons. In my season, we were in the house for a week, little over a week before the live feeds turned on. So they were recording us and they were using that to edit for the first episode, but y'all didn't get to see the first week. Past few seasons, we've had live move-ins. So suddenly now, you may not need as much time sequester-wise. We had to show up a week or so early, and then you had the week without live feeds. So we were there. I think I got snatched around June 13th or so. The season started up June 25th. With a live move-in, maybe you can cut that time a little bit shorter. So I don't know, but I'd say a week and a half, 2 weeks probably, just to be safe. And from that point on, man, their phones are taken, no contact with the outside world, because they don't want anyone to find out who else may be on the season or anything's being said or anything else. Now, as far as your second question, real quick, in the background, This was from my I Love the 90s concert I went to over the weekend. I got to do a backstage meet and greet. And so what you see is over here, Tone Loc, Young MC, Tone Loc, Wild Thing, and Funky Cole Medina. Rob Bass, I'm not Rob Bass. Rob Bass was there, but Young MC, Bust a Move. This is me. I don't have a whole lot of hip hop songs to my credit, but I'd love to try one out. And then All for One, who their most famous song was I Swear. They were great. They may have been one of my favorites of the whole thing because they still had the moves and, you know, very suave and sounded fantastic. And everyone had their cell phones up going back and forth. When they first started performing, I bet you didn't have a lot of people waving cell phones back and forth. Brad had cigarette lighters back then. A little early for the cell phones, but yeah, it was they were good. So yeah, those are the ones I saw. But then the other folks that aren't in this particular picture that I met after the show was Vanilla Ice and Rob Bass as well. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. All right, what else do we have on here? 7:37. It goes so fast. All right, Cindy Hire on the last leg of the Vegas trip. Leave and go home tonight. Carrie Underwood was great. I'm not the least bit surprised. I said last couple of weeks. I haven't seen her in concert, but I imagine she's the kind that puts on a big old grand show. So that's cool. I'm glad. And I saw some pictures that you posted, Cindy. I think that may have been your daughter was issue and everything. So I'm glad you had fun. Vegas. It's been a long time since Sharon and I have been to Vegas. I'd love to go back. Now they did have this weekend at the Paragon Casino and Resort. They had gaming there as well. We played a little bit. I'm a little bit of slots here and there. I kind of like the blackjack and the craps. I didn't do any this weekend because we were just so busy with the food and concert and all of that. Those are the games I like a lot of. You know, it's funny when I went on Big Brother, it was season 21, right? And so I had people asking me, you know, do you think what's the theme of the season going to be? And Sharon and I talked a little bit about it. And I really thought that maybe it was going to be like a 21 blackjack theme or something, or because you play 21 when you play blackjack, you have to be 21 to gamble. So I thought, well, maybe this could be kind of like the Vegas theme or something. That'd be kind of cool if we did that. Yeah, I was completely wrong. They did that. Was that 24 that had a little bit more of a Vegas feel to it? I would have been okay with that. But yeah, I'm envious, Cindy. That sounds like a lot of fun. Probably every bit as hot there as it was down here. But yeah, I'm sure you had fun. Jake, the horror movie geek. Hey, Jake, they haven't had a battle back comp since you won it in BB21. I broke the competition, right? So you're the reigning battle back champion, which is cool. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, but thank you very much. What an incredible, what an incredible night that was to win the battle back and then to win HOH a few hours later and get back into the house. Because you got to realize, I started the day off thinking that Nicole was going home, which I didn't want. But, yeah, her versus me, you got to play your game. So I was like, I'm losing the people. I'd already lost to Ovi. Now I'm losing Nicole, thinking, God, that's just killing me. But I thought she was going home till right before the eviction ceremony. People they look at you differently when they're voting against you. No one would look me in the eye. They turned the other direction when they saw me coming. So suddenly I knew something was up. During the live show, Tommy looks over at Nicole and I, but he's really looking at me and says, man, I'm so sorry. And at that point, I knew I was the one getting voted out. So then it's like, oh, man, God, I wanted to be here longer than this. This is horrible. And suddenly thinking, not even thinking about my speech or what I'm going to say, but just thinking, oh, my God, there's a battle back. What's it going to be? Because it could be a battle back that's a huge physical competition. If it involves a lot of running and jumping and climbing, do you really think that I'm going to be able to beat who else I competed against? Ovi and David and Kimmy, all much younger than I am, much better shape as well. David, that guy, talk about athletic. So I thought if it's a physical competition, I might as well just hang it up here. So you can imagine how happy I was when I went into the backyard and saw that it involved rolling balls down a ramp. It's like, okay, I can handle this. I got to say, there were a few competitions that I really didn't like because they weren't what was suited for me, right? Yeah. Slip and slide, I'm not going to win. Hanging onto a wall, probably not going to win. But I tried. I was proud of how I did that. But yeah, I wasn't going to win it. But there were others. The rolling the ball competition, right up my alley, and yeah, paid off. So that worked great. Let me tell you another comment. In fact, this kind of segues. 7:41. We got a little time yet. Did y'all know today is June 26th, right? 4 years ago today, exactly 4 years ago, my family was getting ready to watch. Well, right now they are watching episode 2 of my season of Big Brother. Do you know what happened during episode 2 of Big Brother 21? It was the episode where Jackson Mickey was deciding which 4 people he wanted to banish. Guess who one of them was? Yeah, yours truly. So my family got to watch me getting banished to start the episode. Then they got to see me fighting for my life through that Big Brother Black Forest, trying to find my way out of the maze and back into the house. And so, yeah, a stressful episode for my family. Stressful for me as well. I don't think I've said it. I'll tell you real quick background on what happened after I got banished. The big squirrel came out, threw a bag over me. Little magic, TV editing magic. You know, they show the squirrel carrying me over his back. What broken that squirrel's back. But the 4 of us got banished. All I remember is getting led to a little green room, isolated area, and some people threw some clothes at me and said, "All right, Cliff, this is your uniform, your costume that you're going to wear for this battle bag." And I said, "Well, what is a battle bag?" "Well, we can't tell you that, Cliff. You're just going to have to wait." But I looked down, and I think it's a pair of coveralls or a jacket, like a kind of vinyl Ranger Rick jacket to put on, and some like a canvas looking forestry kind of shirt and everything. It looked very outdoors, which with the theme of that season, I wasn't surprised. But I'm looking at this saying, what in the world am I going to be doing for this competition? So I changed clothes, and I didn't even know who else had been banished because I was the first one that the squirrel decided to pick on. So I didn't even know. I wait there forever thinking, oh my gosh, my dream is over. Just a couple of hours into being in the house, I didn't get a chance to eat a single meal. I was in there to go to the bathroom, to sleep in the bed, nothing. I didn't even get a chance. The HOH room wasn't open, nothing. So I'm really feeling very depressed that my season could end so quick, and waiting there forever and just so nervous. Well, finally they said, "All right, Cliff, we're ready. Come on out here." We're all blindfolded. So I still don't know who else has been banished as well until finally we're led into this maze, and I hear David's voice. And then a little bit later, I heard Kimmy and Jessica. So then I knew the 4 of us who had made it through, but we still didn't know what was going on. We're just in the middle of this black room. Can't see a thing. It was as black, as pitch black as you could possibly imagine. And then suddenly Julie Chen's voice from above, like an angel, like God from above, speaking out to us saying, "House guest, you've been banished, but here's your chance to get back in." And so she told us the rules, and she said, "All right, it's basically a maze. You're going to be going through this maze, and the first 3 people who can make it to the end survive. The last person gets banished from the house, and your Big Brother season could be in jeopardy, could be over." There was a lot of talk about what the wording was. I didn't remember. I didn't have a clue. I just knew I didn't want to be last. But as soon as Julie said it was a maze, I immediately thought, all right, this is my competition. Someone's watching out for me. This is actually something I have a chance to excel at over everyone else, because I've always been pretty good at mazes. And I'll point it all back to one episode of the original Batman and Robin TV series that was from 66 to 68 or something. I grew up as a little kid watching Batman, Adam West and all that. Love me some Batman. There was one episode of Batman, season 2, the Catwoman put Batman and Robin inside a maze, and they had to try to find their way out of the maze without touching a wall that was electrified or it'd kill them and all that. And so they're stuck in a maze, and Robin said, "We'll never get out of this maze. This is too hard." And Batman saying, "Oh, there's a formula to mazes. There's a way that you can always find your way out of a maze." And basically what he had done, I think, was he started off going to the right, and then from that point on, he always kept a wall to a side. Anytime there's opening in the wall, he would turn that way. He had a little formula. I remember that. Even growing up, I remember that. And whenever I would go do a maze in a cornfield, or, they had different mazes at the beaches and things like that, I would always try to use what Batman taught me as a kid. And I got to the point where I felt very confident that I could survive and get out of any maze very quickly. Who would have thought it would have paid off as a 54-year-old guy on a TV show so many years later? But I did the same thing. As soon as Julie said no, David took off like a rocket, and then I heard him crash into a wall. You don't run full speed when it's dark, but he did that. I went pretty fast, held my hand out, found a wall. As soon as I found a wall, I made sure I was always touching that wall, and I walked around the whole perimeter of this thing. Every time there was an opening, I would go into that opening. When I came back out, I would go into and keep that wall touching with my right hand so that I didn't miss any openings or rooms or anything else. And it worked. And I was the first one to make it out of there. So, I owe it all to Adam West and Batman from many decades ago. I need to find that episode because I'd like to watch me some old Batman. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, it was tough. But that was 4 years ago today that my family saw me beat the Dark Forest, get back into the house, and know that at least for another week or so, I was going to be able to play the game. That was huge. I got back in. Everyone inside the house, they weren't sure if maybe I got some kind of special power or something because I won. I was the first one back in. So suddenly everyone's trying to be a little bit nicer to me. They're all saying, "Oh, Cliff, come over here. Let us feed you. Let us give you some food. And, oh, are you okay? We never wanted you to be banished." It's amazing how friendly people get when they're scared that you may have some kind of power. But I got to eat in the house. I slept in the house. And that was a good feeling. I felt so sorry for David. I was so happy when Ovi got evicted, and then suddenly Julie said, "Nah, Ovi, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stay in the house until the battle back." And then David got to come back in, and so suddenly now David gets a chance to enjoy the experience as well. So yeah, it all worked out in the end. But that was a stressful first day in that house. All right, some more questions we got here. Ma saying, "Worried about watching Big Brother because no cable in my dorm." Oh, Ma, that's that's going to be a tough one. Yeah, that's the problem when it's not over the summertime, when it goes into the fall semester, right? Well, all I can say is it's a fantastic opportunity for you to reach out and find a few more friends, maybe someone who lives off campus, or go down to the student center, convince them in one of the activities rooms that they absolutely need to show this. Go talk to the psychology department. Tell them that you're interested in being, I don't know. Tell them from a psychology standpoint, it's a show people ought to be watching. Maybe you can convince them to set something up for you. But I have a feeling there's a lot of Big Brother fans among college students, and I have a feeling you're going to be able to find someone who watches it. In fact, it may be a fantastic opportunity to grab onto a whole new set of friends. If you find other Big Brother enthusiasts out there, they'll watch it together. The Bachelor and some of these shows, there's a lot of people who get together and watch it. Do the same thing with Big Brother. Yeah, you get your group and we'll have a little conversation. That'll be fun as well. So, but yeah, I feel your pain not being somewhere where you can watch it. That's always tough. All right, Key saying Big Brother will be on Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday with the live. Okay, just so the way they've done it in years past, I'm glad to hear that. It works out all right. Although I got to say, from inside the house, everything happens really quick right there before the weekend. You've got the live you've got the live eviction Thursday. You go right into the HOH competition later that evening. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's recorded, but either way, the HOH almost always takes place Thursday night. We had one that was Friday morning, but all the rest of them were Thursday night. So you've got evictions, HOH competitions. Then sometime on Friday, you typically have nominations. Saturday, you have the POV competition. So within the span of about 48 hours, you've got a lot going on, right? Then suddenly it's all over. By Saturday night, the backyard's opened up. You have the veto ceremony on Monday. And so then from Monday until Thursday, there's nothing going on except for campaigning, of course. But from that point, from Monday on, the two people who are on the block. And so if you're not on the block, you now have a chance to relax and rest a little bit and feel secure for a little bit longer and just, talk to the people, campaign, everything. But that's a long time. It's really tough to sit there from Monday on. I always wonder, wouldn't it be great if you could stretch it out a little bit more? Don't have the nominations within 12 hours of when HOH takes place, but maybe have it on Saturday, have the POV competition on Sunday, POV ceremony on Tuesday. Stretch it out a little bit so you have more time for people to be involved in different parts of the competition. When I won HOH, because we'd already had the battle back, and that once that was over, then they had to reset up the backyard for the HOH competition. So we didn't do the competition until like 11:30 or so at night. It was late. So by the time that thing was over, it was already 12:30 or so in the evening or the next morning. Well, then we had to wait for my room to become available, which took another hour or so. I mean, run down, get beef jerky for the HOH basket, things like that. But really, no one got to see my HOH room until like 2 o'clock in the morning. They woke us up at 8:30 or 9 or so the next morning, and I had to do the nomination ceremony early on a Friday morning. So I really only had like 6 or 7 hours to decide how I wanted to vote, to have people talk to me and everything else. It would have been cool if they'd given me an extra 24 hours or so, because then there would have been a lot more people coming in trying to pitch deals to me and get on my good side and beg for forgiveness for voting me out of the house. I think I would have had a little bit more power influence if it had been stretched out a little bit longer. But because I had to make a decision so quick, from that point on, they kind of knew how I was leaning and what I was going to try to do. So it reduced the amount of influence I had a little bit. It's just the way it goes. But yeah, there's a lot of activity that happens over those 3 or so days of Thursday through the weekend. And then suddenly you're just sitting around waiting forever for the eviction ceremony the following Thursday. It's tough. There's a lot of boredom that takes place that half of the week. All right, Brian is saying no COVID protocol procedures this year. All right, well, good. I mean, who am I to say that you shouldn't take every safety precaution as necessary? But at this point in time, I'm glad to hear that. Right? We survived COVID. We avoided that bubble where there were too many people for incubators and stuff to take care of. So I think that's a good decision, and good. I didn't have to do COVID testing since it was before, but I know talking to David and Nicole and some others, nothing fun about doing those weekly COVID tests either. So I'm sure they're all going to be happy about that. I'm glad we're back to normal with all that. We survived. Yes, we did. All right. Angie's saying, any travel plans this summer? A little bit. I've got a nephew who is getting married in Cancun. So big family destination wedding. We'll be going down for that. Nicole Anthony's getting married. Not this summer, early next spring, but we're going to try to go up and do that as well. And other than that, we're pretty open right now. A lot of what we do during the summer is we go to the lake. So not the fancy, we're not going to be gone for 2 weeks at a time. Go up for a weekend, a little bit longer, and just hang at the lake. Ma, you're talking about not having access to Big Brother. A little tough when we go to the lake where we don't have internet or cell phone or anything. And wondering what's happening on Big Brother. I know it makes it tough during the live feeds and all that. So I normally have to go into town or wait until I get a chance to do the recap, and then quickly we'll leave and go hang out for a little bit. But yeah, we'll be going to the lake a lot and just enjoying sitting by the water and fishing, listening to the crickets at night, watching the fireflies back in the forest. Just chilling, not doing anything amazing at all. Just laying back, enjoying a non-electronic life for a few days. So it's a lot of fun. All right, Cactus Mike's Playground. Money Manziel. You got it right. Yeah, I had my little victory move when I won those competitions. Is all based on Johnny Manziel, quarterback for Texas A&M. Every time he scored a touchdown through a touchdown pass, he'd do the Superman move and the money move. I thought, man, if I get on the show, if I'm fortunate enough to win any competitions, and get to celebrate, that's what I'm doing. And I did it. And I knew there'd be Aggies out there watching who knew exactly what I was talking about. Other people, there were a lot of people on Reddit stuff saying, what's that weird thing he's doing every time he wins? That's just me trying to have a little fun. Normally I do the Superman, the money move, and then a thumbs up. And it was just kind of my thing. And then I do a little dancing when I was off by myself. I think people had fun watching that, making fun of me a little bit, but I didn't care. I was so happy. That was my happy dance. It wasn't my John Travolta on the dance floor dance. That was my absolute pure joy and enthusiasm that I was alive for another week when I did some of those dances. We should have had a chance to do just one or two more. It's fantastic. All right, 7:56. Lauren's saying, I hate it when squirrels pick me up. Yeah, this took a big squirrel to pick me up. And Holy Cliff Batman. Yeah, pow, wham, pow, pow. Any roaches in the house or just ants? I don't remember seeing any roaches in the house at all. That's a good question because I hadn't really thought about it. No roaches. Lots of ants. Although we are better off than some seasons. We had very few. I mean, they eventually showed up, but much later in the season, they came in from the outside. The kitchen's just too close to that back door, right? Trying to think if we had any other critters. Sis and one or two of the other girls in there could not stand the flying insects, the big old dragonflies and things like that. So that drove them crazy. But no, inside the house, I can't think of any other anything. They're pretty good. I mean, who knows? Us in the house, maybe it's more soundproof. It's soundproof. Maybe it's more sealed in than I thought. With us in there, all stale air and food and all that, they probably just had massive cans of Raid and roach traps, and everything sitting all the way around that whole sound stage just to create a barrier between us and them. Yeah, I don't remember any roaches or mice or anything. Seems like there was one season where someone saw a mouse under a stove or something. Yeah, I could see it. They're everywhere, but we didn't have any of that. Yeah, we just had the ants, and that was it. So we were pretty good. Now I did have, I don't know if many of y'all remember it. I took a bunch of dryer lint and some fishing line that was up in the have not room and wrapped it around this dryer lint and made a little mask that looked like a little rat or something, tied a long line to it. And I had it hiding under a little cubby hole in the corner of the kitchen and waited for people to walk by. And then I would pull it and say, rat, rat, rat. Did that. Watch Jackson Mickey, watch Nick Macarone jump. The best vertical leap I've ever seen, jump in a single motion up onto the one of the chairs around the kitchen table. Scared to death. He looked like an elephant that sees a mouse. Jackson Mickey jumped pretty well. He had injured his foot in the Froggy style veto competition just a week earlier. And when he jumped, he hurt his foot again. And I really felt bad because I thought I'd really hurt his chances. Now I don't feel so bad about it. But back then I kind of felt bad about it, that this little prank maybe was going to have some repercussions. But he said, nah, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm not sure. I never knew how much this foot injury he had was a real injury and him just milking a little bit. I don't know. But yeah, I had fun playing the prank with the little rat and everything else. And I got a few people. There are other people that caught on pretty quick, but I got a few of them. That was a lot of fun. Wow, 7:59. It goes so quick. All right, Michelle Moore saying, can you dance for us? If only I wasn't sitting down in front of a horizontal formatted screen. Yeah, if I stand up, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get old Santa Claus belly just bouncing around, and that's not going to do anything. So we'll have to save it for another day. I'm on TikTok. I've never posted anything. I just went out there and registered just so no one else could steal my name out there. But I don't know. Maybe I'll do my best Vanilla Ice young MC bust a move impressions or something. Sharon's probably already over the saying, yeah, don't do that. Please don't do it. I'll save the dances for TikTok. How about that? That seems better on here because it wouldn't work so well on this particular screen. But one of these days. But hey, gives me something to think about. It could be a whole different video series, right? All right, guys. It is 8:00. We're going to call it good. I didn't even announce that today is National Chocolate Pudding Day. I am ready. I got my snack pack ready to go. So I'm going to shut down. I'm going to have me some chocolate pudding to celebrate the day. And I'm going to think back to 4 years ago when I was inside that house fighting for my life. But with that, guys, thank you for another Monday evening. For those of you who are brand new in your darts and others, welcome aboard. I hope to see you again next week. Big old SKD 143. Love my wife, love my kids, love reality TV fans, especially love you guys that hang with me every Monday night or watch it on replay as well. As I mentioned before, please, if you haven't already done so, go out and subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that thumbs up. It's always appreciated. You have a fantastic week, guys. 4th of July next week, right? So we'll be doing something, I guess. Yeah, we'll do something in preparation for 4th of July. But y'all have a fantastic week. Stay indoors or at least stay hydrated. Have a good one. We'll see if we got more Big Brother news to talk about next week. We're getting close. 5 more weeks. You can start that start that countdown clock. Guys, you have a good one. I will see y'all next Monday. Between now and then, if you got any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll take care of you. You have a great one. Talk to you later, guys.